to Photoshop Lightroom TV. I'm your host, Marek Mularczyk. Welcome to another episode. I've got some really interesting things for you today. Let's start with the event we're having this Wednesday in London. If you're in the London area, come and join us for a meetup with Steve Kaplan. He's going to show some really interesting things in Photoshop CS5. We've met Steve Kaplan before. He's doing some magic using Photoshop, so make sure you visit us. All the details on PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk. You can also find some more information on my Facebook page, Marek Mularczyk Site Training. And I hope you come and join us for a really interesting event. Remember, you need to book your place first. Okay, from the news also we have a new Photoshop Elements. Adobe has just released Adobe Photoshop Elements 9 with some really exciting new features. More details on PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk or on adobe.com. This week I'm going to start with a tutorial in Lightroom, and I'm going to show you how to create really interesting effects using the graduated filter inside of Lightroom. Okay, so let's go on to the tutorial. Okay, here I am inside Lightroom, and let's go on to our tutorial. I'm going to show you how to use some adjustment tools here inside Lightroom. We'll start with this image here. I'm going to move into Develop module, and I'll show you how to use the graduated filter. We're going to increase the saturation of the sky in here. We'll make it nice blue and increase the contrast in here by quickly using the graduated filter. So I'm losing the image. I'm going to select the graduated filter. You can also press M, keyboard shortcut for graduated filter. I'll also double click on the word effect to set all the sliders to the defaults. Now the graduated filter has changed in Lightroom 3. It looks different in Lightroom 2. What I can do now is apply the graduated filter first and then play with the settings. That's what I'm going to do. So graduated filter selected. I'm going to click and drag on the image. If I want to position the graduated filter in a straight line, I'll just hold the Shift key on the keyboard, and I'll release the mouse button, and I'll release the Shift key as well. Now, if I want to increase the contrast and make the sky a nice blue, first I'm going to decrease the exposure. So I'm going to drag it down to about 1.5, minus 1.5. Now it starts looking nice, and I'll increase the saturation as well, just a bit. Looks nice. Now I'm going to move it down a bit to adjust the graduated filter to get more sky in the filter. Okay, I can also use that side to make it, to spread it on a page. I don't want to go too far. I think this looks good. I'll move that to about the horizon line here. And I can still play with the settings. I can increase the saturation even more. Now that doesn't look good. But something around 40. Even 50 looks good. Okay, that looks nice. Now I can see the preview before and after. I'm pressing the backslash key. That's before, that's after, before and after. Very nice effect. Okay, if I'm done here, I'm just going to close the button. So this was a bit of magic here inside of Lightroom 3 as in terms to graduated filter. Now I'm going to perform another miracle, this time with the adjustment brush on a different image. So I'm going to jump quickly back to my library. In the folders, I'll select another folder and I'll use different image. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to use maybe this image here. Now go into Develop module. I'm going to turn the sky into black and white, and I'll keep the monument in color using the adjustment brush. So I'm selecting the adjustment brush tool, and I'm going to paint with saturation set to minus 100. My brush looks good. I don't need any further here. I'll get rid of it. Looks good. Maybe make it slightly bigger or not that big, and I'm going to start here. Okay, I'm desaturating the image. Okay, this starts looking nice. Okay, looks not too bad. Now decrease the size of my brush. I'll just make it slightly smaller. Now that's too small. Make it about this size here. I may zoom in on the image as well. And now I'll refine the adjustment here. Go close to the edges. Now I'm using the auto mask feature, which makes sure that it doesn't apply to the image inside here. I just need to keep the crosshair inside, the crosshair in the center, outside the monument, and Lightroom will go along the edges nicely. This looks really nice. Okay, oh, see, I've missed some bits. Okay, so I'll paint here as well. Just zoom out a bit. Okay, let's see before and after. That's before, that's after. Okay, now I can mouse over this pen here. This will show me the mask. So you can see I've missed some bits here. So I'll paint here as well, and here as well, just a bit. That's how we use the adjustment brush inside Lightroom. Okay. Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the Lightroom tutorial. Now here's time for tip of the week. Here's this week's tip of the week. Okay. This tip of the week, this time, will be in, let's say, in Bridge. Okay, this tip of the week in the Bridge. You preview in a number of images. You've got a number of images you want to quickly preview in a full screen mode. You can select one of the images, press spacebar. This will open this image in full screen mode, and you can easily move between images using the arrow keys on your keyboard, left arrow and right arrow, and they all open in full screen mode. There's one more part for the tip of the week, but this will be a part of the tutorial that I'm going to show you now. Now, this second tutorial will be in Adobe Bridge. Now I'm going to show you some really exciting features in Bridge. Bridge CS4, Bridge CS5, because there were loads of new features in Bridge CS4. So stick with me and let's have a look on Bridge. Okay, here I am inside Bridge. I'm actually using Adobe Bridge CS5, and I'm going to jump to some files I've got on here. Photoshop is just loading them. Here's a couple of things we can do inside of Adobe Bridge. First of all, you can see the breadcrumbs on the top, so it shows you where you are. If I wanted to jump quickly to a subfolder called PDF02, I can do it by here and go into PDF02. Quick and easy. Okay, back to PDF01, and I'm going to select the first image, and I'll press the spacebar. This will take me into a full screen mode. This was the tip of the week. Now I can move between the images using the arrow keys on the keyboard, right arrow keys or left arrow keys using a bridge, and I can cycle between images. Now I'll press escape key to exit. Next I'm going to select all the images, just select them one and press Ctrl A on Windows or Command A on the Mac, and I'm going to show you how to use the review mode. You can access review mode by going here, in here, and review mode, or you can also use Ctrl B or Command B. Okay, this opens all the images in 3D carousel. This was a new feature in Bridge CS4, so it applies to Bridge CS4 and CS5. I can move between the images using the arrow keys, left and right arrow keys, or by clicking and dragging to the left and to the right. I can use the loop view, so I can click anywhere on the image to open it in 100% view. And I can move this loop around. That's where it's pointing. Okay, it's good. I'll close that by clicking on here in the corner, and now move to the next image. I can click here. Okay, it's good, and I'll close that. Now if I want to remove one of the images from the review mode, I can press the down arrow key like that, or I can click and drag the image down. This removes the image from review mode. It's still on a hard drive. I haven't deleted anything. Press the arrow key to remove this one as well, and maybe one more, maybe that. Okay, now to exit review mode, I'll just click on this X sign here, and back in Bridge, the images that are left in review mode are still selected. So I've got 3, 4, 5 images selected. I can look into Metadata Panel and I can see all the metadata information about the images. For example, they were created using Photoshop CS3 on Windows. They were modified in November 2009. They're all the same size, 1500 by 1000 pixels. They're 10 inches by 6 inches. They're 150 ppi resolution. And if I scroll down, I can see they were all taken with the same camera, Canon EOS 10D, and that's the serial number of the camera here as well. Let's say I've got a whole lot of images and I want to quickly export them, because sometimes I'll talk to photographers and they say one of the reasons why they use JPEGs is they want to quickly take the raw image, take and export the images, send them to someone else. I'll show you how we can quickly do it. I'm going to select all these images. I would normally apply it to raw images, but just to make it quick with this tutorial, I'll use JPEGs. I'll select them all and I'll go to Tools, Photoshop, and Image Processor. Image Processor is a very nice feature inside of Photoshop that works from Bridge as well. We can take the whole folder of images and quickly convert them to a different file format or different size as well. Step number 1, select the images to process. I'll be processing images from Bridge. That's fine. Step number 2, where do you want to save them? I'm going to save them in a new location, and I'll select the folder. I'm going to put them on my desktop. Okay, I'm going to save them as JPEGs and I'll resize them. I'll make them 800 pixels on the longer side. Okay, I can also save them as PSD or TIFF files. I'll just leave them as JPEGs and I'll just click run. Now Photoshop will run it. It will open every single image, resize it, save it and close it. So I'll end up with the whole folder of JPEG images, smaller, 800 pixels on the longer side, in this case 800 pixels on the width. Okay, it looks like it's done. I'm going to minimize Photoshop and Bridge and I'll look onto my desktop. This is the folder that was created, JPEG. I'll double click on it to open it. These are the images. If I select one of these images, it's 800 by 533. This one as well, 800 by 553, and this image also 800 by 533. So they've all been resized inside of Bridge. I'll quickly jump back to Bridge. Okay, and that's what we can do in Bridge. There's more than that. We'll be talking about some other features in Bridge quite soon. This is all for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and back to the studio. Okay, welcome back once again. I'm Marek from SiteTraining.co.uk, one of the UK's leading specialists in Adobe Certified Training. This was our second tutorial. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Photoshop Lightroom TV. Our address is PhotoshopLightroomTV.com. You can also find more information on PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk and of course SiteTraining.co.uk. Thank you for watching. If you want to see anything in the show, send me an email. Tell me what you want to see, what kind of tutorial you want me to create for you, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.